Textbooks cost money. Encyclopedias cost money.
But there's one place this is all free, and that's the internet. But the internet is like a huge bin of everything. You've got some great things and then some random opinions from people. All these published stuff, they're essentially the filtered out goodness. But there's one place that you can also get this goodness free. For many of you, you probably know this place called Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is run by volunteers. No one is paid to write those articles, no one's paid to do any of those stuff. But so much information is uploaded and they're all quality stuff. Each of the uploaded articles are cross-checked by various community members. For every fact, they have to have sources cited. And I only started realizing how amazing of a platform it is once I went to this convention which they held for their volunteers called Wikimania. So Wikimania is basically this huge conference that brings hundreds of volunteers together. It's run by volunteers. People fly themselves down to attend this. Kind of meet up to discuss, network, and just kind of see all these different kind of passionates who all want to improve the platform together. It's pretty crazy.
Excuse me. Sure. So like read a book about Wikipedia and the last few years.
So I find the use case where you can actually use ChatGPT to rephrase sentences to summarize some content.
But anytime it goes outside those boundaries, the hallucination problems and those types of things take root, and it's almost useless at that point, right? Because to try to fix a problematic article by checking every source, you might as well just write from scratch yourself.
And so, the lighting. So outside of the conference hall, various volunteers from different countries, they brought down their own sweets and kind of snacks to try. Oriental sweets from Egypt. Do I just use my hand? Wait, I'm gonna try this. I wish someone told me what it's called. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's so good. Someone left rambutan from Singapore. I feel like I need to bring better snacks, man. That looks like a sesame ball though. Where is this from? India. Puttaraku. Cracker paper and nuts in the middle, and then it gets really sweet. Volunteers from all over the world come here and they placed a pin on this gigantic world map so you can see just where everybody is from. You know, I also realized as I was sitting in one of those talks, it's so fun to actually sit into the lectures that I'm interested in. The ChatGPT discussion on AI, I was locked in. I never knew that ChatGPT like fabricates stuff, you know, like I would have never known. And basically the whole discussion on using AI in education and whatnot, like I think it's really opened my eyes to certain things. And so after the talk, someone actually asked the question, why aren't we turning Wikipedia articles into video formats? Got me thinking the nature at which we start learning nowadays. Everyone's growing up with video formats. I myself, I'm ashamed to say, I've barely read more than 5 books. If we're growing up with TikTok and YouTube and Google as our search engines, we never think about which sources are right. In ChatGPT, you can ask him a question and it's gonna write you like this very convincing answer, but it might be like 90% false. And you would have no idea because you're not going to go fact check. Let me give you an example about TikTok. If anyone has ever seen this video, they say that this was in Japan. But the truth is, that actually happened in China. Who's fact checking these things? On social media, no one's crediting people anymore. It's gonna come to a point where you won't know which platforms to trust. You can Google up something and you don't know whether this medical organization is gonna say something because they want you to buy their stuff, or they're gonna teach you something which, you know, has a political agenda. One place which really doesn't have all of this, and to a great extent a reliable source on everything education, is Wikipedia. And I never knew the importance of such a platform until I've started to witness exactly how much goes into this. And then I really got to thinking, like, why would people spend hours of their time, like days and all this, just to volunteer and write stuff and provide knowledge? It sounds a little bit too amazingly altruistic, so I wanted to ask some of the volunteers.
Why?
Okay, so this is Robert.
Hi.
He's from Singapore, so he's one of the Singaporean volunteers. So if you see Wikipedia articles from Singapore getting updated, right, this guy has probably done quite a few of them. What first got you into it?
So what first got me into it was just basically spelling mistakes. I see people spell E and A wrong, the sub positions, right? Yeah, so I just go in, correct it. So I started off when I was in secondary school. I only got really serious editing in 2019. Yeah, so like 2019, I see something that needs to be updated. Like the article was just totally outdated, like, and then just go in and make changes.
Why do you spend the time and effort to put in the hours?
So much. So I contribute to Wikipedia, Wikimedia Commons, Wikidata, because I think it's one of the best place that we can contribute to making knowledge more accessible and freely available for everyone. For Wikidata, I contribute mainly on structured data about politicians and also like artists, musicians, and other related content that are specific to Africa. So I know that if I don't put this content on Wikipedia or Wikidata or Wikimedia Commons, nobody would do that for me. So I am from an indigenous community, and I think it is the best way for me to contribute to preserving my culture and language.
Short of being melodramatic, I think it's a civic duty, and it gives me a lot of transcendent joy just to know that people out there can benefit from having a bit more information about a topic that they might care about.
Yeah.
It's just to fix the information gap, and I think that's a really important thing that we ought to be part of.
I think people don't realize, like, if you're editing an article, it's not just going on and be like, hey, this one wrong.
Yeah.
You need to provide the right sources. You need to, you know, cite, fact check, all these kind of things. Is like, it's time intensive. So why would you do this?
The most succinct one will be that XKCD comics was saying, there's something wrong with the internet. I must correct this. If it feels wrong, it shouldn't really be up there, because if you think about it, Wikipedia is probably one of the first few pages you're going to land when you search on Google. People are reading the wrong things, then it's just going to affect the credibility of the subject of the article.
What would you say is the main joy that makes you keep coming back to kind of like contribute more?
For instance, just yesterday I was on Reddit and I saw a thread on Today I Learned about, you know, this ancient Chinese novel.
Right.
I contributed to the article, and just the fact that people benefit from knowing a bit more about this topic.
Joy of contributing to these platforms, there are a lot. Sometimes we just have the feeling that, you know, everything that I put there, somebody somewhere in some part of the continent, not even in Ghana, would get access to it and read it. And it's so nice to like go to an article that you have created to see how many views that you have received, and then sometimes the region where are people reading it from. You see that, interestingly, you see that so many people are reading content from not even in Ghana. So imagine me writing about a chief in my community that is Tamale, and then somebody somewhere in Asia like Singapore, you know, America is reading that article. So that brings me joy.
When I see that people read my articles or see my photos and the number increase, I feel happy. So I will do it every day.
I love that. That's the same. That's why I create videos, right?
Exactly.
It's like, so you have a day job.
Yes, I have a day job. Put it shortly, I am a consultant.
Right.
Well, I'm a student, study history.
In
London.
In London.
Okay, so I am a student journalist at Amity University in India, and I also work as a brand ambassador for MHC Foundation in the United States of America.
I work in the Ministry of Culture.
Ministry of Culture in Palestine.
In Palestine,
Oh, wow. It's interesting to see the kind of similarities between, you know, the writers and content creators, right? The initial part of our journey was never about profit. It was never like, okay, I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna earn money. It was always about, I'm gonna take a whole day filming, 3 hours, 4 hours to edit, to put out a content which I don't know whether 100 people will watch it, but I want to do it because it's fun. I want to tell a story, or I want to put out a certain kind of content that I want people to watch. That's the same thing for these Wikimedians. They want to put out knowledge. You know, in fact, it's even better than me making some hee ha video, and they get the same kind of gratifications, whether it's people viewing the articles, whether it's people learning from it, or even just the fact that you wrote it. You know, even just the fact that if I've made a video, I made it, that ownership over that. So it's kind of beautiful to see such a big convention come together and so many people working towards it. When you're that passionate about one of the topics, I think that's where you get the kind of like motivation to want to go and write it. This would be a reminder for me to really like reflect on where is it that I'm consuming my knowledge from, to fact check, to once again always check the information that I'm intaking, kind of like regain that appreciation for Wikipedia and Wikimedia and all these other platforms that they're focusing on. I hope this was insightful for you guys. I hope you guys took something away from this. Just Kate, take it easy, crew. I'll see you guys in the next one.